How did it all started? I actually always wanted to be an entrepreneur. Since my young age at school, I was thinking of building a business. Later, I worked in a large organization. That was my first job at Siemens. And after that, again, I worked in a first tech company where actually in both cases, I traveled a lot for business and was actually surprised by the poor level of services at the front desk when I was visiting offices of many organizations. And as a business traveler, I've always been quite sensitive to the way I'm welcomed in hotels or restaurants. So I think that's very important at any front desk, including the front desk of businesses and even non-offices locations such as plants, warehouses, etc. Initially, it was about services, about convenience, but later and in the recent years, it grew around security, the need to protect your people and protect your places. That has become really central to our offering. But what's very important in that process is that you don't build something which is so secure that the user experience, the employee experience, the visitor experience is very bad because of that. So you need to hide security, but keep it strong and keep a very welcoming and user-friendly experience for the end users. So now, 10 years later, we have customers in 100 plus countries, large organizations such as L'Oreal, Sodexo, Airbnb, MetLife, Adidas, and many, many more are using Proxyclick around the globe to not only welcome their visitors, but also organize the flow of employees through integrations, among others, with access control systems. Having the idea is one thing, but implementing it and running with it is another thing. So I worked with a developer who helped me and build a first version of the service. I was working in another company at the time, so it was evenings and weekend work. And over lunch at that company, I was going out visiting front desks of neighboring companies. And so I was going in and speaking to the people at the front desk, security or reception, and asking them about the challenges they face. And so in those discussions, I understood the process, I understood the challenges, like she's chasing people to find where they are, telling them that the visitors arrived, printing the badges correctly, writing the name of the person without spelling mistake. My name once has been misspelled like Gregory bin London. So you have all sort of creative writing which is being done on the front desk because of that. So that's how it started. I then started building a team around us too. Geoffroy and JB joined a bit later, and through those discussions we had our first customers. And we quickly had a website that we implemented to make sure it was as SEO or search engine optimization friendly as possible. And so we got leads coming from anywhere, because checking in a visitor in Shanghai, New York, or Singapore is exactly the same. So basically we had leads coming from anywhere, and our biggest market is and has always been the US market actually. So when you start a business, you have a lot of challenges. Of course, you need to build a team, you need to build a product, you need to build a customer base, you need to find your first early adopters. And often when you are an entrepreneur, you are early with your ideas. And as we say, being early is often being wrong. So I had to be quite patient for my idea, for our business to reach product market fit. I was determined at the time not to raise any money, because I wanted to the customers to pick up on the product and not build an organization just with funding. So the priority for me was to generate business, generate revenue, demonstrate product market fit before raising around the funding, which is what we did. It took more time than expected because the market took longer, as it's often the case to reach maturity. But now it's the case. We raised 2 rounds, and I'm very excited about what's happening on the market right now. You know, what changed really is that employees are the new visitors. That is what our customers told us. They say, look, our employees are jealous of our visitors. They love seeing Proxyclick used by their visitors, but they want to use it as well, especially in a context when you need to ask your employee to pre-register, to answer COVID questions, to book desks. And so all of that needs to happen before they come, while before COVID, they just came into the building without any of this. So employees are the new visitors. And for us, we moved from a visitor management solution only to an offering which connect people, people being visitors, employees, or contractors, with places where they need to be. And places being warehouses, offices, plants, factories, etc. So it's not only about offices, and it's not only about visitors or employees. It's about those people flows that needs to be managed by organizations in order to secure both people and places. How do we build an international business or a global business with people located in so many different locations? So we had that before COVID, so that's not new. And we did recruit 40 or 50 people that we've never met. So that's a challenge in itself. Remember that our market is global. We have a global customer base. And so that means we need to be able to serve organizations around the globe. That also means that we have an organization which is not really segmented geographically. We have a global VP sales, we have a global customer success leader, we have a global marketing leader. So that's all international. We have not gone for geographic distinctions in our organization in order also to make sure that people are really well connected. So connections are important. Connections are really difficult in the COVID world. So although in the early days of COVID, efficiency increased because there was less interruptions between meetings and less social interactions, that's not sustainable. We really felt it after a few months that actually efficiency went down in the organization, because just people need to see each other. People need to have those conversations. They need to understand, context of what's happening by having offline discussions that are not happening in a Zoom meeting. So I'm really looking forward to seeing people again. Doesn't mean that people need to go to the office every day. It just means that you need those interactions through business trips, people coming to our New York office or Brussels office to meet from different offices to meet and exchange on topics. But in order to succeed, the company needs the people and needs, of course, those interactions beyond the pure transaction of the business. Every year we have a so-called remote working trip where everyone in the company meets in one place. Last year, unfortunately, we couldn't do it. We can't wait to do it this year. Hopefully it will happen. But in 5 years, we'll be, say, 500 people meeting in Bali and celebrating our 1 billionth check-ins of people visiting places around the globe. And thanks to us, thanks to all 500 people, the world will be a safer place. Why? Because on one side, people's data are protected. The people themselves own their data and decide who to share the data with and when. And on the other side, locations, places are well informed and protected so that all the people inside are compliant with what the places want. And all of that happens quickly, smoothly, and it's a great experience for everyone involved. That's where we'll be in 5 years.